Hello and welcome to the Rising Stars of Comedy. I'm Akriti Tyagi. Whenever someone says life is hard, I'm always tempted to ask, compared to what? Our guest for today has been described by Tom Rhodes as head-crushingly funny. Please welcome Raj Sharma. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, Raj.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
So, tell us about the journey.
My mother used to say this. My mother passed away a few years ago. And I remember, oh, it's okay. I remember when I was in the hospital, this memory popped into my head when I was sitting in her hospital room. She used to say, I talk too much. Tu bolta bolte. Bolta bolte.
But mummy usi ki kamata hu.
Yeah, no, but see, this is when I was a kid. She's like, chup kar, tu bolta bolte. And I was like, okay. She goes, one day I hope they give you a job where they pay you to talk. And I remember sitting in her hospital room and I go, hey ma, remember when you said I talk too much? She's like, yeah. Abhi bhi tu bolta. I was like, okay. I go, you remember when you said you hope that I get a job where they pay me to talk? She goes, huh? And I go like this. And she started laughing so hard, I was like, now they pay me to talk.
Every comedian in their comedic journey, so to say, have that one indelible moment where they know that they have to be a comedian.
Yeah.
Which was yours?
I think, do you want early on or recent? Because we have to have them, I think we have to have them every now and again.
So give me now and again.
Yeah, I think because I think you would get a little despondent because this industry can be very tough.
Okay.
In the beginning, I think it was, I don't think it was, I know it was. I was doing a show in Houston.
Okay.
And a lady had come up to me who just literally, I think the day before or 2 days before, had lost her mother.
Ouch, okay.
And had come out because she didn't want to come out of the house. Her friends dragged her out of the house. And I do bits about my mom in my stand-up. Yes. And she came up to me after the show and she was crying. Laughing and crying at the same time. And she's like, I absolutely needed this.
Emotional release.
She's like, I just lost my mother. You made my day. Like, and it's moments like that. Like, it's moments like that when you go, oh, okay. And I think recently it was a year and a half ago, I went back home and played a huge theater in Dallas, where I'm from. And I normally do the comedy clubs. There's a theater there called the Majestic Theater. And I was the headliner.
Oh.
And we sold 950 seats.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was, my dad was in the audience. My mother, unfortunately, had already passed away. My dad was in the audience. My brother was in the audience. I had friends that had seen me from my first show in 2002 that were in the front row. And when they introduced me, they said, are you guys ready for your headline? And I mean, the place went crazy. And it's like, and they said, your hometown boy.
Wow.
Yeah, and I walked out and it was this huge applause. And I went in and I was so nervous because I was in front of my hometown again. And I got done and it was a standing ovation. And
wow.
And it was cool because my dad got to see that. My dad and my brother got to see. Because I mean, there was only a handful of times I think they saw me perform. So because traveling everywhere, they can't be there.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of those things that, in my mind, is like, yeah, okay. I mean, look at this.
Did he say something to you after that?
Yeah, he was like, you're good. He was like, he goes, you talk to the crowd. He goes, I didn't know you could do that. Because, you know, I do a lot of crowd work.
Yeah,
I interact with the audience.
Yes.
And so he's like, I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know that was, he's like, I don't even know how you do that. He's like, but you're really good. But he said it in that you're very good. Like, not
Indian
like,
fathers.
Yeah, very,
yeah, you're
very
doing
typical.
a good job
You're
already.
very good. Okay, now go cut the grass. You know, like right after getting done with a 950 person show. And my brother, I just remember him just in the back, like looking at me and he's like, just pointing. And I was like, okay, we can keep doing this. Like there's those moments all the time that I think that should happen. Like in every artist's journey, I think that's great. It just keeps you motivated. It keeps you wanting to do more and more and more. Once you get to that place where it's all the time, I think you get stagnant. I think you have to have those moments where it doesn't always work.
To go to the high, right?
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be like a massive fail. I think it just needs to be a little bit of like, hey, check your ego. Okay, you're not the best. Okay, come on. This audience didn't like you that much. You know,
you actually start playing that game.
Anybody ever get the Belin? Belin? Anybody get that one? Oh, my mom was just evil with the Belin. It was amazing. Like, and it was so rude because she would be making roti, then beat me with that, then serve me that same roti. I'm like, can you make a fresh one? I can taste my tears in that one. And it was amazing. Like, if I asked you to find a billion in your house right now, it would take you a few minutes. I don't know what it was about my mother, but she was like a ninja. Like, it just came out of nowhere. Like, you would just be like, yeah, let's go. Like, I don't know where she hid it. I don't know if it was like a samurai sword she just broke out. Oh, it was brutal.
When you're writing your material, is there a special process you follow? Where do you take your inspiration from?
It happens, I can't believe I'm about to tell you this. For me, 80% of my jokes have happened while I was in the shower.
Honest to God.
Honest to God. I'll just be taking a shower and I'll think of something, go, oh, that's really funny. And then I'll get out of the shower and I usually keep a notebook by my bedstand.
Okay.
And so I'll just write it down real quick and then I'll go back and
complete.
revisit. Yeah, and revisit it. And then sometimes it just happens in the weirdest places. Like I'll just be sitting there talking to somebody and I'll reach for a napkin. And it's something, I'm not even, it's not even something we're talking about, but I'll just reach for a napkin and go, okay, I think that could be something really funny. Like I remember being on the plane coming here last year.
Okay.
And I wrote about 20 brand new minutes on the plane because my girlfriend was asleep.
Okay.
And I had no one to talk to.
Uh-huh.
And so I just was like, okay, and I just started thinking of things premises that I've always liked. Like the fact that as Indians, the thing that I love is we can just use sounds.
Yeah.
And you can tell how something's gone. Yeah. Like, how's your day today?
I remember you doing a set about it in relation to your mom or something.
Yeah,
right?
my mom would do that. My mom's phone calls were hysterical.
Yeah.
Because you never knew. She didn't say anything. Yeah. She'd be like, huh? Oh. Are. Ay, hi. Acha rakhti hu. And you're like, what happened? But you never knew. You're like, did something bad happen? Like nobody knew what just happened. But there was no. I was wondering what the other person on the other end was saying. Like apparently they're doing all the talking. She was just doing all sound effects. But it was always that way. It's like, are. Nahi, acha, are. Oh, oh, acha theek. And then just put the phone down. I'm like, somebody die? What happened? Like nobody knows what went wrong. And I've always wanted, like, I never got a chance to ask her, but like, what were all those conversations about? I know they would be about nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, I was like, somebody's car broke down. I'm like, that's what it was? Because you made it sound like somebody had just died. No, uska gaadi kharab ho gaya tha. Just something as simple as that, but just over the top melodramatic. That's what I love about our culture. There's just the melodrama that comes with it. I think it's amazing. But yeah, so inspiration-wise, it can happen at the drop of a hat. Like I don't force myself. There's some people that do. Like Jerry Seinfeld sits in a room, turns his phone off, and for 4 hours writes. Okay. If you can do that, fantastic. I can't because I can't force a laugh from my side. And if I write something and I laugh, I know it's a good joke. It sounds really odd and it sounds really arrogant. But I know if I chuckle while I'm writing it, I'm like, okay, they'll laugh at it. I know I'll get a good response from that. I don't know how big the response will be, but I know it'll be good. So I'm not worried about that. 10 years
in the field, you will be able to gauge that this might or might not work.
Yeah, I mean at some point, and I can read audiences really well because, like I said, I do a lot of audience interaction. Yeah. So you have to be able to see who you're talking to. Yeah. So you can gauge, when I'm coming here, I know what I'm getting into. Yeah. I know that it's going to be a really odd mix in Delhi. It's going to be a mix of really young people and really old people that don't like me. Yeah. That just came out because they saw it in the paper and it's something new. And they think it's going to be like a, Raju Srivastav, Kapil Sharma type show. And I tell people at the beginning, if that's what you think you're going to see, leave. Because it's not going to be that. You're not going to like it. And those guys are great at doing what they do. This is not it. My brand. But this is not it. Yes. So if you want to leave, and I've had people get up and leave, and I'll tell them, I go, I have so much, and I go, I have so much respect for you. I have so much respect for you leaving than suffering through it and making the people around you miserable. Because laughter is contagious, and laughter is also groupthink. So if you have one guy sitting there like this, mad the whole time, it doesn't matter if 300 people are laughing. The 30 people around him won't. Yeah. Because you don't want to be like, well, he's not laughing. Why are we laughing? We don't want to look like we're the only people that get the joke and he does. You know what I mean? So don't create that atmosphere. Don't create that culture. Yeah. Just go and I'll give you your money back. Like, I don't mind. Just go ask for it at the front. Yeah. I don't mind. But if you sit there and you're mad the whole time, it's so funny. That happened to me at IHC. There was one guy, and I said it. And I'm looking at him. I go, "You don't like this, do you?" And he shook his head and he said, "No." I go, "Then leave." And he said, "No." And everybody else had a good time. It was a sold-out show. They had to add chairs. They had to add 40 chairs. Everybody had such a good time. Till this day, he's the only person I think about. Till this day.
That's why
tell
they
you,
say
yeah,
99 positives and 1 mistake.
Right. I can tell you exactly what he was wearing. He was wearing a Hawaiian shirt. He was an older gentleman, curly white hair, glasses, sitting with his wife and his daughter. Daughter had a great time. Wife wasn't having a good time because he wasn't having a good time. Still stuck in my head. I couldn't tell you one person that laughed at a joke. But I can tell you that guy made me angry because I'm like, just leave, man. You're ruining the experience for everybody else. And so if I ever see him again, I'm going to point that out to him.